A new horizon. The email popped up in my inbox late one evening, the kind of hour when most people were either deeply asleep or lost in their thoughts. I was the latter, mindlessly scrolling through social media, searching for distractions. My usual remedies, chocolate and late-night snacks, had dwindled to nothing, and I found myself too disinterested to make a grocery run. My life felt like an endless cycle of work and takeout. The email caught my eye, its subject line promising an adventure, an invitation to volunteer for a voyage to a newly discovered planet. My initial thought was that it must be a scam, a wild idea pulled straight from the pages of a sci-fi novel. Yet upon reading further, I realized there was truth in it. But there was a catch, revealed in bold letters at the bottom. Each traveler would be put into stasis for 30 years, and only a limited number of participants could join. That sobering detail did little to deter me. I embraced the idea wholeheartedly. Why not? It felt like a chance for a fresh start, a chance to escape the dinginess of my small apartment, the constant noise from neighbors, and the endless cycle of feeling stuck. With little more than a suitcase filled with clothes and a few cherished keepsakes, I decided to follow my heart. Giving up my lease was a hassle, and I could practically hear my landlord's annoyance ringing in my ears. But as I stood among 200 other hopeful participants inside the enormous spaceship, I felt a rush of excitement. The interior was breathtaking, soaring high above with sleek metallic finishes and bright lights. We gathered in a crowded, warm room, listening to a man on stage talk about innovation and exploration. I tuned out his spiel, teasing myself with thoughts of cult meetings. A glare from a woman beside me reminded me I wasn't here to make friends, so I focused on the stage instead. One by one, names were called, and my anxiety rose until I finally heard my name. Carter Amelia. I stepped forward to collect my space suit, and felt the weight of all those eyes on me. A woman guided me to my stasis pod, and I marveled at how cozy it looked. The bed in the center looked inviting, ready for a long sleep. Dressed in my suit, I glanced at my reflection. The girl staring back felt unfamiliar. My vibrant blue hair, once bright and bold, now dulled to a washed-out color, hardly resembled the person I once was. I let out a quiet sigh. The past few years had taken their toll. I climbed into my pod, ready to close my eyes and embrace whatever the future held. Before long, the ship's speakers crackled to life, indicating that preparations for stasis were underway. I allowed myself to relax, listening to the robotic countdown from 10. I am 8 years old. Rain lashes against the windows, and I sit in my room, tuned into a show that's lost its charm. My father's voice rises above the din of the television, a thunderstorm in its own right. My mother's soft attempts to quiet him only fuel the fire. I wish for a peaceful home, but that dream slips further away with each argument. I am 16 years old. Birthday candles flicker as I blow them out, trying to conceal my wish from the world. I glance at my mother's tired eyes, a facade of joy masking the exhaustion underneath. I can't shake the feeling that our lives will forever be altered. I am 20 years old. With my friend by my side, I stumble into a bar, nervously glancing around. And then I see her, the girl with cascading dark hair and a bright smile. A flutter of nerves dances in my stomach as I stumble through awkward interactions, hoping for a moment of connection. I remember how my heart soared when she started to notice me, how I felt alive. I am 23 years old. The day we move in together is one I never want to forget, her laughter filling the spaces of our new home. As she embraces me, I feel warmth spread through me, a sense of belonging I never thought possible. I am 26 years old. I stand nervously in a white dress, catching my breath as I watch her walk down the aisle. The moment feels surreal as she approaches, but my heart is filled with joy. I want to capture this moment forever, not even thinking about who is missing from the celebration. I am 30 years old. My phone slips from my grasp as a bitter reality collides with my world. The accident happened too quickly, her life snatched away in an instant. Grief envelopes me, heavy and suffocating, as I realize that I'd taken for granted the moments I thought would last forever. I am 30 years old. I stand at her funeral surrounded by strangers. The words I failed to say choke me as I mourn not only her, but the life we dreamed of together. I remember the laughter that filled our home, and I can't fathom living in a world that no longer has her in it. I am 32, wandering through memories like a ghost. The planet feels emptier and darker, because she is not there to share it with me. I awaken slowly, a voice announcing our approach to the new planet. We have a couple of weeks to acclimate to life aboard this ship before we land. As the pod opens, I take stock of my surroundings. I see families and individuals like myself, each with their own stories and burdens. A girl across from me catches my eye and offers a hesitant wave. I respond in kind, feeling a flicker of connection. Am I ready for this new beginning? I'm not sure. But as I take a deep breath and embrace the uncertainty, I realize that I'm willing to try. Continue the story. As the days wore on aboard the ship, I immerse myself in the routines that had begun to define life in transit. The vast corridors flooded with light, the hum of machinery behind the walls, and the distant laughter of families began to feel strangely comforting. I found solace in the little things. The morning sunlight streaming in through the observation deck, the sound of other travelers sharing meals, and the satisfaction of exploring every corner of this colossal vessel. I made it a point to attend the daily gatherings, where people shared their stories, hopes, and fears about the journey ahead. At first, it was daunting to hear tales from others. It reminded me too much of what I had lost. But slowly I began to open up. The warm, inviting atmosphere encouraged camaraderie, and I felt a flicker of connection with those around me. One evening, I sat next to the girl who had waved at me when I first awoke. Her name was Maya. She was in her late 20s, with short, tousled hair the color of midnight, and her laughter was infectious. She had a way of bringing people together, her easygoing nature smoothing the edges of our shared uncertainty about what lay ahead. We began spending more time together. One afternoon, we stood side by side at the observation deck, watching the stars flash by outside. The vastness of space reminded me that I wasn't alone in my journey or my pain. "What made you decide to come here?" she asked, breaking the comfortable silence we had fallen into. I hesitated. It was a question I had struggled to answer. I was trying to escape. I felt stuck in the past, and when this opportunity arose, it felt like a chance to start over. I glanced at her, gauging her reaction. "What about you?" She smiled softly. "I lost someone too. My sister. She was my best friend. And when she passed, it felt like I was living in a world that no longer made sense. I thought maybe a change of scenery would help me find more than just a new place." Her voice wavered slightly, but the strength in her eyes was unwavering. I nodded, feeling an instant bond of understanding. We shared more than just words. We shared a grief that felt as familiar as our laughter. As the days turned into weeks, our friendship deepened. In moments of vulnerability, we revealed pieces of our lives that shaped us, stitched together by the fabric of our losses. Maya had a keen sense of adventure, often dragging me to participate in various ship activities, from group exercises to trivia nights. I soon found myself laughing more than I had in years. The companionship she offered filled spaces of solitude that had become far too comfortable. One afternoon, as we strolled through the impressive botanical gardens on the ship, I marveled at how vibrant and alive everything felt, despite being surrounded by the infinite void of space. "Do you think it's strange?" I mused. "That we're in the middle of nowhere yet surrounded by life?" Maya walked beside me, her expression thoughtful. "Not strange at all. We're creating our own life here. You know? Maybe that's what this voyage is about. Finding new beginnings and new connections." Her words resonated deeply, planting seeds of hope within me. I began to understand that while one chapter of my life ended in pain, this new journey held the potential for something fresh and transformative. As we neared our destination, an undeniable excitement filled the air around us. The ship buzzed with anticipation, and I felt a mix of anxiety and exhilaration. With each passing day, I realized I was no longer simply escaping my past. I was stepping boldly into my future. The day finally came when we were given the opportunity to explore the new planet. I stood in the same observation deck where Maya and I had shared so many heartfelt conversations, and gazed upon the blue and green orb that awaited us. "Are you ready?" Maya asked, her tone laced with excitement and a hint of apprehension. I took a deep breath and nodded, ready as I'll ever be. As the ship descended through the atmosphere and touched down gently on the planet's surface, a sense of new beginnings washed over me. Whatever lay ahead, challenges, discoveries, or friendships, I was determined to embrace it all. Once the ramp lowered, we stepped outside into an entirely new world. The air was fresh, pungent with the earthy scent of lush greenery and flowers unknown to me. I breathed deeply, feeling a sense of peace settle in my chest. The vast landscape around us was filled with rolling hills, vibrant flora, and a sky that seemed to stretch infinitely. Maya took my hand, weaving her fingers between mine, and together we stepped forward into this new universe, a vast expanse of possibility. As we wandered through the unique terrain, I felt a spark of hope light within me, a reminder that even in the shadow of loss, new connections could blossom into something beautiful. With a newfound understanding of what it meant to move forward, I realized I wasn't just on a quest to escape my past. I was embarking on a journey to create a future worth living. Together, we would explore what life had to offer, forging our own paths among the stars. As we stepped onto the surface of the new planet, the ground felt soft and springy beneath my feet, an unusual contrast to the sterile metal of the spaceship we had left behind. A soft wind rustled through the lush foliage, and the sight before us was nothing short of breathtaking. The trees were unlike any I had encountered on Earth, with broad, iridescent leaves that shimmered in hues of purple and teal. Maya squeezed my hand tighter as we began to walk, her eyes wide with wonder. "Look at this place. It's incredible." I couldn't help but smile at her enthusiasm. The vibrancy of the new world was infectious, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a sense of excitement bubbling within me. I was no longer just Amelia. I was a pioneer, standing on the brink of discovery. We wandered deeper into the landscape, marveling at the magnificent flora. Flowers danced in shimmering clusters, their petals swaying gently in the wind, while complex tree trunks spiraled upwards, twisting together like ancient sentinels guarding secrets of the past. I couldn't shake the feeling that this place held stories waiting to be uncovered. After exploring for a few hours, we stumbled upon a shallow lagoon, its waters glistening like liquid sapphire. The scene was serene, and the sound of softly lapping waves seemed to beckon us. "Should we? It looks amazing," Maya exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with mischief as she tugged at my hand. I couldn't remember the last time I'd felt so alive, so unrestrained. We kicked off our shoes, letting the cool water lap at our feet. With a few giggles, we waded deeper until the water was at our knees, surrounded by strange, luminescent plants that glowed softly in the sun. The simplicity of the moment was overwhelming, and I found myself laughing freely, the echoes of the past fading with each splash we made. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, painting everything in a golden hue, we settled onto the shore, gazing out at the horizon. "Can you believe we're really here?" I said, awestruck. "I can hardly believe it. It feels like a dream. No more running away, we're starting fresh." Maya turned to me, her expression serious yet warm. "What do you want from this new start?" My heart raced as I contemplated her question. What did I truly want? In the past, I had often felt boxed in by my grief and old memories. Now, with the weight of my past and the gloom that had hung over me for so long finally beginning to lift, I felt the question sink deep within me, like a seed taking root. "I want to embrace whatever this place has to offer," I replied, my voice shaky but resolute. "I want to explore, to grow, and to let go of the fear that has held me back for so long." Maya smiled, a knowing look in her eyes. "Me too. We can do this together." As the sun finally tucked itself beneath the horizon, the sky erupted in color, deep purples and fiery oranges painting the world around us. For the first time in years, I felt a flicker of hope ignite in my heart. As the evening turned to night, we started a small fire by the lagoon. The flames flickered, casting dancing shadows on our faces, while we pulled out some food rations from our packs. Between bites, we shared stories about our past lives, our dreams, and the people we missed. Maya spoke of her sister with a mix of pain and pride, and I shared my memories of love and loss. It felt freeing to voice the things I had kept bottled up for so long. "There's a whole universe out here," Maya said, gesturing to the stars shining brightly above us. And it's ours to explore. We have no idea what we'll find. As the night wore on, I gazed at the stars and thought about all the possibilities that awaited us. Each star above felt like a promise, and in that moment, I knew that my past would always be a part of me, but it wouldn't determine my future. In the days following, we explored further, discovering new terrains, vibrant ecosystems, and other travelers who had also disembarked in search of a fresh beginning. Some were solitary, others part of families, but each person had a unique story to tell, threads woven together into the intricate tapestry of this new colony. Maya and I became known for our adventurous spirit, often rallying small groups to join us on excursions into the wilderness. We laughed, we faced challenges, and we celebrated our victories, no matter how small they seemed. I felt a sense of purpose that I hadn't felt in years, nurturing connections that filled the void left by my loss. One evening, as a group gathered around a campfire, a fellow traveler named Leo shared his story of heroism, how he had once jumped into a river to rescue a child from drowning. The gravity of what he had done moved us all, and as I listened, something shifted within me. I wish I could do something like that, I said, surprising myself. I want to matter in this new world. Maya, sitting beside me, turned to me. You do matter. We all matter here. This is our second chance to bring something new into the world. As more stories unfolded, I realized that each person had faced their own journey of hurt, loss, and redemption. Together, we were creating a community forged from shared experiences, laughter, and new bonds. Weeks turned into months, and the new planet began to feel like home. I found fulfillment in my work with the colony, helping set up communication systems, and learning about sustainable farming practices on this unfamiliar soil. Every day, I discovered more about myself, growing in ways I never imagined possible. One evening, while standing under the vast expanse of stars, I turned to Maya. I can't believe how far we've come since we landed here. This place has revived a part of me that I thought was lost. What do you want to do next? She asked, her voice soft yet filled with curiosity. I paused, contemplating the question. I want to continue finding purpose here. Maybe help create something tangible. A place where people feel safe, where they can heal, just like we have. That sounds incredible, Maya said, her smile radiant. And you'll do it. I'll be right there beside you. In that moment, amidst the shadows of the past, with stars shimmering brightly above, I realized that what I was building here, friendships, community, hope, was as important as any destination I had been seeking. The journey was uncharted, and while the scars would always remain, I was finally ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. And in Maya's unwavering support, I found a bond that could grow beyond our shared grief. A bond that had the potential to bloom into something extraordinary, just like the world around us. Together, we were ready to face the future, hand in hand. As the months rolled on, the colony flourished. Newcomers brought their skills, talents, and stories, weaving a vibrant tapestry of diversity and growth, each person leaving their mark on the land and on each other. The sounds of laughter, the smell of freshly tilled earth, and the sight of children playing amidst the trees filled the air with a sense of belonging. Maya and I organized workshops, sharing knowledge on everything from sustainable farming to building shelters from the native materials. I had gained a newfound confidence, leading initiatives, encouraging others, and creating spaces for open dialogue became second nature. Working side by side with Maya, we forged a leadership role based on compassion, resilience, and community. One day, we gathered around an expansive clearing to celebrate our first major harvest since the colony's establishment. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden light over the assembled crowd. The vibrant produce, rich greens, bright oranges, and deep purples, spoke of the hard work and dedication we had poured into the land. As I stood at the front, looking over the joyful faces of my friends and neighbors, my heart swelled with gratitude. Today, we celebrate not just the fruits of our labor, but the bonds that have formed between us all, I said, my voice steady yet filled with emotion. Together, we've built more than just a community. We've built a family. Applause erupted, and I caught Maya's eye from across the clearing. She flashed a proud smile. her presence a steady anchor that reminded me of how much I had grown since the day we first disembarked. I was no longer the broken soul who had fled her past. I was a person eager to craft a brand new narrative. After the festivities wound down, I found Maya sitting by the lagoon, the gentle sounds of water lapping against the shore creating a calming backdrop. She looked contemplative, gazing out at the serene landscape. I joined her, taking a seat beside her. "Today was magical," she remarked softly, her gaze still fixed on the water. "I can't believe how far we've come." "I know," I replied, leaning back on my hands. "Sometimes I still pinch myself at the reality of all this. Have you thought about what's next for us, for the colony?" Maya turned her eyes to me, her expression serious. "I think we should keep laying down roots here. We've created a space where people can heal and grow. But we need to continue building on that foundation. Let's reach out to more lost souls who need a place to belong." Her words struck a chord within me. Absolutely. We should create a program to help newcomers acclimate, offer support for their stories, help them find their place here. A sense of purpose ignited between us as we brainstormed ideas for a support network that would guide new arrivals through their emotional journeys while helping them settle into their new home. The dream didn't seem far-fetched. It felt attainable, a continuation of the work we had already begun. As the evening settled in, a silvery moon rose above us, casting its glow over the lagoon, illuminating our faces with a soft light. In this peaceful moment, I reflected on the incredible journey I had taken to arrive here, surrounded by friends who felt like family. "Maya," I began, the words bubbling to the surface. "I've been thinking a lot about how intertwined our lives have become. You've become such an essential part of mine. I can't imagine this journey without you." Her gaze locked onto mine, a spark of understanding passing between us. "You mean the world to me, Amelia," she breathed. "We have shared so much, and together we've created a life that feels vibrant and alive." A delicate silence enveloped us, a moment layered with unspoken feelings. I reached for her hand, intertwining our fingers, a gesture that felt right in every sense. We both knew that the bond we had was stronger than just friendship. We were each other's sanctuary in the whirlwind of change. "I want us to explore this together, wherever it may lead," I said, my heart racing. "Not just as friends, but as partners." Maya smiled, her expression illuminated by the moonlight. "I thought you'd never ask." Encouraged, I leaned closer, my breath catching in my throat. "Being here with you in this new life has taught me so much about love and connection. I want to create a future together, to navigate whatever comes our way as a team." As the words flowed between us, I felt a weight lift. I had opened myself to the possibility of love again, a notion once shrouded in fear. "What do you say?" I asked, trepidation woven through my excitement. "Maya, together we can build a future," she whispered as she squeezed my hand firmly. "I'd be honored to walk that path with you." With that exchange, something beautiful ignited between us, blooming like the flowers that surrounded the lagoon, unwinding and growing in the gentle moonlight. We spent the rest of the night talking about our visions for the future, the impact we could have on our community, and how we would weave our lives together in this boundless new world. As dawn broke on the horizon, it marked not only the start of a new day, but the beginning of a journey we would face side by side. The new planet was more than just land. It had become a place of healing, adventure, and love, a sanctuary that welcomed fresh starts. With Maya by my side, I knew that the best was yet to come, and together we would explore all the horizons that lay ahead, embracing every moment of wonder and growth. As I looked out over the vast expanse of possibilities, I felt something I hadn't felt in years, a raw, invigorating sense of hope. We were alive, we were together, and this was just the beginning of our journey.